A very good afternoon to you all. Thank you for watching UBC television with me, Wadulo Mark Arnold. This is your lunchtime news, the weekly roundup edition, the bulletin that brings you those stories that made headlines within the week. Thank you for joining us. Let's take it to the first story. To start off, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni this week held bilateral talks with Somalia President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud at State House in Entebbe. Museveni said Uganda is ready to continue supporting Somalia on all fronts. On his part, President Mohamud thanked Uganda for the standing with the people of Somalia on peacekeeping, which has eliminated the Al-Shabaab terrorists from the capital, Mogadishu. Let's have more details on this story. Yes, and more news from this week. Millions of Kenyans have early this week braved long queues to vote for their leaders in the 2022 general elections. The political positions up for grabs are President, Governor, Senator, woman member of the National Assembly, and the member of the County Assembly. The electorate in the areas of our crew covered in the city of Nairobi expressed satisfaction with the election exercise.
Kenyan voters have turned up in huge numbers to exercise their democratic right. The polling stations across the country were opened for the anxious voters at exactly 6 a.m.
The voting process began at 6:04 and everything has been smooth so far. The people who have come to vote are able to be identified in two ways, either biometrically or by using a manual voter register as a backup. The experience so far has been good.
I woke up today early to come and vote and cast my vote, and as you can see here, I've already done it. The voting process actually was very nice. It is very smooth. As you can see, all the lines are organized, and what I like so much about it is the verification process, which is very fast. Once you go there, you place your thumb on the kit, it gives you the name, and then the ladies who are there organizing the voting clerks are also very organized.
I've just taken less than 30 minutes, and I'm happy to see the way the progress is going on, and we need peace in Kenya.
The voters braved the long queues from as early as 4 a.m. in polling stations across Nairobi City and were impressed with how the elections were conducted by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission.
So far, the election process commenced at a commendable status. People have been voting smoothly without any commotion. The only hurdle that the voters are facing is checking up their names with the UBC register and ascertaining their polling stream. That's what has been giving most of the voters the problem. Others, everything is running on very well. Yeah, we're very grateful so far.
Okay, generally, the way I've experienced election, it's quite smooth, very organized. I've seen IBC this time round. I've done a very good job.
We managed to get hold of the incumbent Member of Parliament of Langata constituency moments after he cast his vote.
So what will be your appeal? Because you're a politician, you're a sitting Member of Parliament. After all this, what will be your appeal?
My appeal will be to the members of the public who've not voted to turn out. I know there are so many who think maybe there is a long queue or it is taking a lot of time. I want to appeal to members of the public to turn out and vote, because voting is your right. Determining a leader that you want to lead is your right. And I want to tell members of the public that policy, prices of items are set up by leaders either at the county assembly, in parliament, or at the presidential level. So they have an option. I want to tell them that there is an option of coming out and voting for the right leader that you want, or sitting back and complaining for the next 5 years.
Among the key pressing issues singled out by the electorate is peace and cohesion, which they believe is badly needed to spur the country's social and economic growth.
The president, whoever wins, we all be together, and all Kenyans to have peace, and to even the other the presidential, whoever was looking for the post, whoever wins, all of us, we accept and we continue with our life.
I would urge the electorates and everybody in Kenya to remain peaceful, because as we know, Kenya is a very integral part of the East African community, and if we have chaos in Kenya, it disrupts the entire East African community economy. So I would urge everybody to be peaceful and wait for the tallies and wait for the declaration of the results by the official IEBC chair as per the law.
Analysts state that the race is too close to call for the top presidential candidates, and that is Raila Odinga and William Ruto, and in case the winner fails to garner more than 50% of the vote, then the election will go into a runoff. Dennis Igoa and Juman Samba for UBC News in Nairobi City.
Thank you very much, Dennis Igor. Now, the government of Uganda and the education development partners this week signed the Global Partnership for Education Compact for transforming the education system in the country. The compact signing ceremony was hosted and presided over by the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, at State House, Nakasero, on Wednesday, 10th August 2022.
Uganda and its education development partners have signed the Global Partnership for Education Compact for transforming the education system in the country. The Education Partnership Compact is a shared agreement between government and its partners to strengthen a coordinated approach in transforming Uganda's education system into an effective, efficient, and equitable system. It sets out the priority areas, policy reforms, source of funding, plus the roles and responsibilities of different stakeholders and partners in the education sector in Uganda.
Mama, it's a great honor and pleasure for me to share with you the journey we have walked as a country to reach this point of signing the Global Partnership for Education Compact for Uganda. It was in January 2021 when government received official communication from the Chief Executive Officer announcing that Uganda is among the selected pilot countries to access a new GPE grant to support Uganda's education sector, now amounting to $216.3 million.
The compact was signed by the Minister of Education and Sports, First Lady Mrs. Janet Museveni, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Honorable Mataya Kasaija, the Chairman of the Education Development Partners, UNICEF country representatives, Head of Mission Embassy of Ireland, the British High Commissioner, and other partners. Mrs. Janet Museveni said that government, together with its partners in the education sector, have been on this journey of developing the Partnership Compact for some time, and it has been truly a long process since January 2021.
Today, we have come here to sign. Representatives of different agencies are coming to sign, and me and the Minister of Finance. We will get to the end of this. There must have been a reason for this long process. Perhaps we are building strength in our relationship. Perhaps we had more stronger pillars to put into our system to strengthen what we are trying to build.
We will try as best as we can to play our part as it is stipulated in the memorandum, so that this project moves as fast as possible and we get the benefit.
Education is a smart investment in the economy and in the future. I want to reiterate that inclusive education and equitable access to learning is the most important tool one can have to survive in the world, and it is a necessity as it provides solution to all the problems the new generation is facing.
The compact signing ceremony was hosted and presided over by the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, at State House, Nakasero.
Student leaders across all universities were this week urged to promote abstinence from premarital sex and dignity by influencing young adolescents to value the opportunity of pursuing their education, invest energies to pass examinations, and embark on a well-deserved career. The launching of a campus initiative dubbed Own Your Future at Kololo, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, and expressed dissatisfaction with its approach, saying that it can only lead to further moral decadence by addressing the symptoms, not the problem.
About 69 higher institutions of learning through their guild leadership are involved in a campus initiative, Own Your Future, that envisions a Uganda where everyone has access to quality health care. However, although the founder of this initiative says it is in line with the First Lady's sexual purity campaigns in schools and higher institutions of learning, the Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, says this initiative's approach is not a solution to sexual immorality. She cites some statements made in the justification of their initiative, like the 60% of girls having unmet need for contraception, and challenged them to explain if their strategy is about school children using contraceptives.
Easy access to modern contraception is not a solution to sexual immorality. Even where young girls access facilities to prevent pregnancy, this does not protect them from HIV and AIDS and other STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. By addressing one issue, you may expose young people to another hazard. Indeed, this approach results in a common saying that I have heard on radio or TV, young people saying, we fear getting pregnant more than contracting HIV and AIDS. Really? Really? Is that what the whole struggle is about? That is how Uganda first stood against HIV and AIDS. Young people rejected premarital sex outrightly.
The First Lady says there are also influence of gender dynamics in which some girls cannot negotiate for condom use, hence expressing the need for young people to reject premarital sex uprightly. The Permanent Secretary Minister of Health, Dr. Diana Twine, pledged to support the young people in universities with the right information on sexual reproductive health, emphasizing that the sexual and reproductive policy being worked on will identify right interventions for different ages and when to apply them.
Begins with avoiding the risks that put you at risk. And we are talking about teenage pregnancy or early pregnancy that will predispose you to many complications, not only the social complications, but also your health complications. Keeping away from the risks of sexually transmitted diseases. The healthy lifestyle is having a healthy relationship that you will stand tall and know that you kept yourself pure until you get the person you want and you get married to. The healthy relationship, it is about not endangering your bodies
to risks like abortions.
The initiative aims at creating linkages between students, policymakers and civil society organizations, leverage technology to influence policies of reproductive health.
Uganda, where every girl in every corner finishes secondary school and can join a university, complete with quality grades, but also with good health. A Uganda where everyone has quality care access, where everyone living with HIV has access to the best treatment.
This initiative comes at a time when students in high institutions of learning face challenges of sexual harassment perpetuated by the administrators.
HIV positive, it's not going away. So if you need the drugs, go for them. Do not allow the self-stigma kill you. You can never deal with the social stigma. People always have things to say. But how do you deal with yourself as an individual?
It's upon the students' leaders to come together in common effort to uphold the Shia policies. Teach the students, engage them, do parental involvement.
Civil society recommends that sensitization on sexual and reproductive health in universities need to be done in the first orientation week. Work with peer structures like peer educators and young positives. I'm Nafka Farida and Daniel Lugemwa in Kampala.
In other news, the top leadership of political parties this weekend rushed to Kasese to drum up support for their flag bearers contesting for Busongora South constituency. The National Resistance Movement Vice Chairperson for Western Uganda, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, campaigned for the NRM flag bearer Gideon Mujungu, while DP President Norbert Mao campaigned for his candidate Bernadotte Businje. Meanwhile, FDC's Patrick Amriat and officials from the FDC were also in the district to canvass votes for their flag bearer. These are the details.
It's only 4 days for Busongora South constituency to go to the polls, and candidates are now busy hunting for votes in the hills and valleys of Kasese. National Resistance Movement candidate in the company of the party's National Vice Chairperson Western, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, campaigned in Nyakabingo sub-county, preaching the message of better service delivery once Gideon Mujungu is elected.
Very few people know, for example, that here we have 2 sub-counties on this plateau. As you are here, this is in Mahango sub-county on a plateau. This one here. And as we are here, this is Nyakabingo on this part of the plateau. 2 huge sub-counties on the top of the mountain. When you are in Grembe, you cannot see it. When you are in Charumba, you can't see it. When you are in Muhokia, you can't see this ground. This is a huge plateau with a huge population. So, we don't have sufficient service. And I want to request you honestly that you help to get us scholarships for these young people.
Dr. Baryomunsi appealed to the people of Busongora to send a candidate of the ruling NRM party for easy coordination with the government.
Turi mu Kasese mu Busongora South iturukurugamo paka Mujungu tuongira karuru ka NRM.
This is an area which has in the past been dominated by the opposition, but I think there is a wave of change towards NRM, as you can see. We are campaigning for the Honorable Mujungu Gideon in this by-election, and we are poised to win massively in Busongora South, including here in the highlands. We need special attention, to pay special attention to this area. They need services. We should improve the road network here because it's a difficult terrain, but also we need to give them secondary schools.
I am a DP. I've come to campaign for DP.
Meanwhile, DP President Norbert Mao campaigned for his candidate Bernadotte Businje in Muhocha sub-county, urging the people of Busongora to try a female MP since men have not done enough to help them improve services.
We don't want leaders who will keep quiet in parliament. I understand you have MPs, but they are not
other party presidents like President Museveni and that of NUP principal Robert Chagulani are also expected in Busongora to drum up support for their candidates next week. Busongora South residents will be voting for a new member of parliament on 18th August after a court threw out NRM's Gideon Mujungu on allegations of election malpractice during 2021 general elections. Philip Aguta and Moses Mutavali for UBC News in Kasese.
Now away from Kasese, Joint Security Forces in Karamoja sub-region this week arrested a 74-year-old chairperson of Akapwa village in Lotisan sub-county in Moroto district and recovered a NATO gun. Security netted a gun dealer Teko Mariko, a resident of Lokiriam in Turkana County in Kenya, who has been selling firearms to Karamojong in Kotido, Napak, Kabong, Moroto and Nakapiripit district.
Trade ammunition. One of his accomplices is this one, Morok, Muzerongok.
The operations of joint security offices of police and UPDF in Karamoja sub-region have netted notorious warriors and gun dealers. 7 suspects found in possession of firearms or linked to gun trafficking were paraded before the press at the 3rd Division headquarters in Moroto district. Mariko Teko, resident of Lokiriama in Turkana County, but of Uganda origin, was arrested on 2nd August after intelligence linked him to arms trading in Kabong, Kotido, Moroto, Nakapiripirit districts.
Trade by our intelligence network for arms trafficking and arms trade. Through concerted effort and interviews, he revealed to security forces that he has been trafficking guns, ammunition for livestock.
Teko named his clients, including a 74-year-old Ngorok Eluktopere, who was found armed with a NATO gun.
The chairperson of Akwa, yes, village in Lotsan, sub-county Moroto, was arrested and was found in possession of a NATO gun number 762 with 3 ammunition, which was recovered instantly. Our intelligence is following on several buyers of these guns from the same man, Teko Mariko. We believe and we are still committed that suspects of this nature will still be arrested, put in custody, and they'll be tried.
Relatedly, the LC2 chairpersons of Lopetakori and Kalapata Trading Center in Kabong district, Akol Lonya and Lodukai Lukol, were arrested for illegally possessing guns. Lokeris Lomuso and Lokieny were also arrested for trafficking guns from South Sudan.
Were arrested for being in possession of the firearm. On close follow-up, intelligence arrested Lokeny Lonya, a brother to Akol Lonya, and Lokeris Lomuso, all with us here. They are all residents of Kabong district, still on the same account, illegal possession of firearms and trafficking firearms and ammunition with the Toposa community of South Sudan. It is believed that Lokeris Lomuso and Lokenya Lonya are big middlemen in dealing in firearms.
Gira Natolikodo, alleged to have killed UPDF 2 soldiers in May in this year, were also paraded. The Karamoja Sub-Region Police spokesperson Michael Ongole hints on the commercialized raids and investigations of security officers behind Waragi cell in the region.
Discovered that the Waragi was in the house of a girlfriend to one of our officers. We have already taken up the investigations to see if this officer of ours was in a know that his girlfriend was dealing in Waragi. Because personally, we have not got our officer dealing in the selling of Waragi. So when you are engaged to somebody, it does not automatically bring you to the business of the Waragi.
Since the Joint Security Forces intensified simultaneous cordon and search, 244 guns, 930 rounds of ammunition and over 6,669 herds of livestock have been recovered. Abiona Francisco, Moriniga, UBC News.
Furthermore, the King of Toro, Oyo Nyimba Kabamba Iguru Rukidi IV, this week asked government through the Ministry of Tourism to recruit more standby emergency medical teams and security personnel in the parks and mountains to ensure safety and comfort of tourists. King Oyo made these remarks following a 10-day Mount Rwenzori expedition to the peak of the mountain. These are the details.
King Oyo Nyimba Kabamba Iguru will be remembered in the history of Uganda as the first cultural leader to hike to the peak of Mount Rwenzori.
The Omukama is the first royal on record to conquer the Rwenzori.
The king's return from the peak of the mountain was characterized by cultural dances from Kasese community at Kilembe entry point before proceeding to Kauzika Palace in Fort Portrait City. The expedition, dubbed Restoration of Mountain Ecosystem, is aimed at boosting tourism and addressing climate change challenges.
When we talk about climate change, we have to see the connection between mountains and snow and glaciers with the livelihoods of people. Importantly, I also wanted to talk about biodiversity. We have animals that are rare, duikers that are rare in the Rwenzoris, and we have to protect them.
To this effect, the King Oyo, with a delegation from the Uganda Tourism Board, planted trees at the foothills of Mount Rwenzori in Kasese district. King Oyo highlighted on his expedition challenges, observation and recommendations to the government for action.
I realize that the park does not have standby emergency medical team as a medical team, and considering the nature of the landscapes, I would highly recommend that government, through the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, support and facilitate the training of selected mountain guides and rangers as paramedics to fill this gap.
The king wants the government to recognize and motivate officers in the park and mountains, including porters, rangers and guides.
This will play a great role in driving both domestic and international tourists to not only explore the Rwenzori Mountains, but Uganda as a whole.
Many commended the king's action, saying it will attract more tourists, especially the youth, to walk in the footsteps of the king.
Adventure tourism is what people are yearning for. Cultural experience is what people are yearning for.
Alice Atafa from the United Nations Development Programme said government investing in tourism and including it in the parish development model will recover the sector from the post-effects of COVID-19 pandemic. Story compiled by Bridget Kabahende.
Key infrastructure projects such as modern markets, resource centers, youth centers, recreational facilities, and roads worth $30 million are being rolled out in 10 refugee hosting districts of West Nile and the far north. State Minister in charge of urban development, Obiga Kania, this week said that the projects, which are being funded by the World Bank under the Uganda support to municipal infrastructure, are being rolled out to help the communities. Let's take a look.
Because you came looking for jobs, we said, okay, we have given you jobs. Now again, you're disrupting. This is what happened in 2018, and we shall not accept it to happen in this particular year, 2022. We can't accept it.
By the end of Tuesday this week, a total of 4 workers under the Office of the Prime Minister undertaking the verification exercise in Ibidibidi and the Rhino Camp refugee settlements have been fired on allegations of faking identities of beneficiaries as refugees.
What is going on now? There is fake registration that they did previously, and this verification has helped us to scale down. This happened in 2018, and it was not really right because we realized that those volunteers by them registered their relatives and also registered ghost refugees. And this frustrates our donors and also all the development partners that we're working with. So now this exercise, we know it's going to help us to categorize. First of all, we are profiling the needs assessment of each refugee. So this is the best important thing. And also see the most vulnerable, the lame, the poor, how can they be supported more compared to others who are able to afford something?
Solomon Asakan, the refugee desk officer at Arua office, explains the circumstances of the firing.
We did not halt verification in Bidibidi. You know, people who are not following instruction, those volunteers, one of them went and switched off the generator. He had been transferred to work in Ajumani. And then there were these ones who were caught registering people who are not there, 2 of them. So they tried to organize their colleagues to strike. And the work started late, so we really lost a whole day. Lucky enough, there was a team from OPM Kampala that had come on a monitoring visit, and they captured this information. Also, the UNHCR team helped us capture this information. Another 2 were picked in Rhino Camp doing the same thing. And today, some people have gone to work in Rhino Camp. Some volunteers have remained, that they are pleading for their colleagues who are being fired.
Osakan also revealed the manner in which these volunteers faked the registration.
During verification, we need each individual to physically appear and provide us with the biometrics and other information to update the register. So what happened is that during verification, some of our people employed their volunteers, I think picked money from some refugees. So they add those who are not there, people who are in Juba, because the family wants to get additional food. And so at the end of the day, UNHCR and the OPM team will check and he will show this is the person who added people falsely who are not there. And that is a fraud. We cannot have statistics of persons who are not there.
A 2-month grace period is given to refugees who do not turn up for verification, especially for school children and those being affected health-wise.
There were numbers that were added by some of the volunteers, and the action is being taken for that. But we also have to take into account the fact that some refugees have been going back. South Sudan, after the 2018 peace agreement, there are a number of people who estimate that they can go back to their areas of origin. So there have been quite a number of back and forth. They go and check on their communities, and once they are comfortable that it's safe enough, they have been going back. We call it spontaneous returns.
Joseph Adamam, UBC News.
Brigadier General Felix Busizori this week handed over the Special Forces Command Office to Brigadier General David Mugisha. This follows a recent reshuffle by the Commander of the Armed Forces by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The Chief of Dependence Forces, General Wilson Mbadi, officiated the event.
In the latest military reshuffle by President Yoweri Museveni, the Commander Armed Forces, Brigadier General David Mugisha was appointed to replace Brigadier General Felix Busizori of Special Forces Command. The Chief of Defense Forces, General Wilson Mbadi, witnessed the occasion of exchanging instruments of power.
As you can see, we are witnessing the handover of the SFC flag. It has been passed over to the incoming commander.
Pick from where he has left to continue building capacity and the capability of this elite outfit of SFC.
He challenged senior officers to make operational research in the dynamic revolutionary defense mechanisms.
Is to make sure it fits within the strategic, operational and tactical obligations of SFC. Looking at the mission against the required equipment and the personnel required to man that equipment.
Brigadier General David Mugisha has been the second in command of the UPDF 3rd Infantry Division in Moroto.
He clearly promised that I should keep the standard of the Special Forces Command by having a well-trained force, robust, agile, fit, adaptive, effective and efficient, versatile, exposed, dynamic, reliable, productive, pro-people, professional, well-grounded ideological force to meet the contemporary national, regional and global challenges.
The outgoing service commander, Brigadier General Felix Musizori, reported achievements and strategies to be accomplished by the successor.
Composition, strength, training, operations, logistics, welfare projects, management committees, infrastructure development, CIMIC and Army primary schools with the current status of SFC, and to ensure smooth continuity in the execution of Special Forces Command mandate.
Brigadier General Felix Busizori has been redeployed as the second in command of the UPDF 3rd Division in Moroto. Abdul Nasili Lubwama and Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
We'll now take a short commercial break and be back with more news from the week, so stay tuned.
Vimba! Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
Did you know it is mandatory to have all births registered and a birth certificate issued? Failure to do so attracts a penalty of imprisonment or a fine. It's proof of age and belonging to parents, protects and provides children with legal rights from crimes and abuse like defilement and child labor. Give your children a good future today and have their birth certificates. For more information, visit the NERA office in your area or visit our website www.nera.go.ug. This message is brought to you by NERA.
Enjoy more GBs for the same price on Airtel. Shareable using 2 Gabonais. We have increased GBs across all your favorite packs. Now, 4 GB is at 10,000 shillings and 10.5 GB at 22,500 shillings, all valid for a week. For the heavy data users, enjoy 24 GB at 50,000 shillings and 50 GB at 100,000 shillings, all valid for a month. Dial *175# or use the My Airtel app to buy these and more affordable weekly and monthly data bundles on Airtel, the smartphone network.
Oh, Susan, I want to propose to Rose. Yes, and this time I am serious.
Have you guys had sex?
Duh, of course.
And have you had sex without using condoms?
Hey, Nga, you're curious.
I'm more concerned. Are you having sex with other people?
Hey, hello, is this an interview or what?
No, just things you should think about. Do you know Rose's HIV status?
Okay, this is serious. Should I be worried?
It is actually serious. Do you know your HIV status?
I think I am safe. Many times we get into situations that put us at risk of HIV. However, the first step to ending HIV is getting tested and knowing your results.
It's Time Up HIV. Call 0800-211-046 or text 8080 toll-free for more information about how to prevent HIV.
This message is brought to you by Ministry of Health with support from USAID.
Forget last season. Forget the oohs and ahs.
Forget every moment that stole the show, because the real show is here on GoTV. It's the new season. It's action-packed, and it's going to be non-stop football. With over 1,000 games from more than 7 leagues and cup competitions, plus a World Cup. Make sure you get the best seat in the house this new football season. Get a GoCoder with 1 month of GoTV value for only 25,000 Uganda shillings and enjoy non-stop football. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone and enjoy free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 Uganda shillings. That's free 2 GB for the first month and free 1 GB for the next 11 months at only 250,000 Uganda shillings with free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 shillings only. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. We still take you into the weekly news roundup edition. We're now taking to business. The Ministry of Works and Transport is working on expanding new airline routes. This was said by the Minister of Works and Transport, General Edward Katumba Wamala, during the 10th graduation ceremony of Uganda Aviation Academy, where 120 students graduated in different aviation disciplines at Hotel Africana. We do apologize for that. Moving on, government remains committed to establishing information communication technology incubation centers across the country to help the youth build ICT ideas and solutions. Inaugurating the first national ICT job fair at Makerere University, the Vice President, Jessica Alupo, urged students to take up and optimize the opportunities brought closer to them, since they are sure of a way to add value to them as individuals and the country.
The Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has put in place graduate volunteer schemes to support young people with skills development to help them be competitive. Now, the Ministry of Information Communication Technology has partnered with Huawei Technology and Makerere University to organize an ICT job fair that aims at linking academia with the job market. Inaugurating the ICT job fair, the Vice President, Jessica Alupo, urged youth to take up the opportunities, emphasizing that it is a mutually rewarding partnership for now and the future.
The Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, we shall increase support towards the ICT Innovations Program to build incubation in the different regions of the country. This will ensure that our youth have access to suitable facilities where to develop their innovative ideas into ICT innovation solutions across the country.
State Minister of ICT, Joyce Nabosa Sebugwao, says the fair targets to provide 234 internships, 316 jobs and 550 trainings to impart students with specialized skills, appealing to youth to recognize the fast-changing ICT environment.
We hope that as our partners, you can open up some more opportunities that our young talented people could tap into for experience. It's therefore important for you to recognize now more than ever the fast-changing ICT and communication environments with all its different options and take advantage of it.
The Vice President Huawei, South Africa, expressed the need for skilled ICT human resources and working with academia to build ICT tenant system in Uganda.
It aims to achieve win-win results to create jobs for Ugandan youth and provide an opportunity for enterprises to hire local talents.
We have also noted the need for skilled ICT human resources. Building Uganda's ICT talent pool requires government, industry, university partnerships, and collaborations that benefit all and reinforce each other to enable even stronger programs in virtuous cycle.
Huawei Technologies also embarked on an initiative of training university students in different ICT disciplines and certifying them to prepare them for the job market.
To get a job of a network engineer, you have to have certified in some network courses like data communications, like security, like wireless LAN. So as Huawei, we do that while the students are still in the university to prepare them for the job market.
Posta Uganda is also showcasing its e-posta technology that has seen over 22,024 customers subscribe to acquire electronic posta addresses. They use the platform to apply for and receive deliveries at their own convenience.
Also be able to request for delivery. In case you want the delivery to be done to your home or to your office, you can request for delivery through the same application. And you can also be able to track and trace your items.
Others have come up with a technology of charging phones and electric bicycle that uses Bluetooth to have it move in this era of high fuel prices.
These are our electric bicycles. This particular one is the long-range version. Goes around 90 to 140 kilometers. Top speed is 35 kilometers.
I'm Nafka Farida and Stephen Kalisia in Makerere.
Furthermore, the State Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Persis Namuganza, this week urged the Asian business community in Uganda to take advantage of the existing 3.5 housing deficit gaps and invest in the housing sector. Namuganza said this during the Uganda Build Corn International Expo held in Nakawa.
As big infrastructure projects get underway in Uganda, in roads, airports, power generation, office and residential construction, this development leaves industry stakeholders considering state-of-the-art ways to branch out and expand their trades. So don't just look at it, you must take advantage, but also to help the people to acquire decent but affordable accommodation.
Lastly, I should add, the opportunity that is again in housing is that it has the longest supply chain compared to any construction project, at least for the sub-Saharan setting. Right from foundations through the walls, the slab, the roof, air conditioning, electricals, electromechanicals, you'll find each one of us has something to contribute to housing. All this future potential. So I'm sure you have all come here to explore the opportunities, and you will certainly find your opportunities here and work here. Some of you might start as a trader in trading, and then eventually you might come to investment also, because they have a very friendly investment regime.
The second gap or the opportunity is in the construction capacity. We have limited construction capacity in terms of the skills of the personnel. In terms of the equipment, our local firms here have limited capacity in terms of the equipment to undertake construction projects.
And the ease of doing business, if you study about East Africa, the ease of doing business is very favorable in comparison to other countries nearby. You take customs, you take payments, the ease of doing business is very, very easy in Uganda.
I am from Kitch, India. We are the manufacturer of ironmongery products in SS316 as well as 304 grade. We are dealing in the door handle, furniture handles, glass fittings and railing systems.
Vimba! Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
And now in the world of sports, Uganda's double Commonwealth Games gold medalist Jacob Kiplimo was early this week rewarded for his new 27 minutes and 9 seconds and 17 microseconds games record set on the 10,000 meters final at the break of the 2022 Birmingham Commonwealth Games. These are the details.
Please welcome onto stage Jacob Kiplimo from Uganda.
As the curtain falls on the 2022 Birmingham Commonwealth Games, 24 athletes that have set new records have been awarded by game sponsors Longines, the watch manufacturers. The watches that have unique features are valued at about £1,600, which is an equivalent of about 7 million Uganda shillings.
They will be very proud of you. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
These included Uganda's Jacob Kiplimo for his 27:09:19 mark to win the 10,000 meters gold medal.
I'm so grateful to be here. This is our last ceremony in here. I think to me it was something I've achieved, a big achievement to me. I think this is now the thing now. Will ever our need maybe to run a Commonwealth Games to achieve this called like it is now. What I've done it because after Jeptagai did last year. And the other year, 4 years ago or 3 years, but me, I did now the same thing that he also did. Yeah, to me, it was something, a great achievement to me.
Among those recognized was Scotland's Ailish McCoglan, Kenya's Jacqueline Jepkoech, and from Trinidad and Tobago, Jerim Richard. Uganda has at the Birmingham 2022 Games that officially end today won 5 medals, including 3 gold and 2 bronze. Focus for Uganda now turns to the Islamic Solidarity Games that are already underway in Turkey.
Thank you very much, John Barnes, for updating us on the Birmingham Games. Now, Olila High School from Soroti was this week crowned winner of this year's Girls School Cricket Week after defeating the title holder, Jinja Senior Secondary School, by 10 wickets. This is the second time Olila is winning the title, the last time being in 2019. Now, 8 secondary schools from different regions participated in this year's tournament that was played at the Lugogo Cricket Oval between the 8th and 11th of August 2022.
To the chairman organizing committee. I guess this is boys, also there is no difference. Boy and girl, we are all equal. Please go and organize a very good 5 Stars Football Academy. 5 Stars Football United Academy. Superheroes Academy. A very, very big company. So as FUFA, we are committed to support you and we will continue supporting you. But
this year's Girls School Cricket Week came to an end this week at the Lugogo Cricket Oval with Soroti's Olila High School emerging overall winners. In the finals, they met Ginger Senior Secondary School, who had a solid start, setting a run record score of 83 runs. However, luck fell on Olila High School, who outran the score by 10 wickets to become the champions.
As Olila High School in the Girls Schools Week competition, it's because we've been preparing for a while, ever since the term began. Then on top of it, the team is composed of senior players and the juniors. However, we've been having very many trial games in Soroti, back in Soroti, and also training with the coaches and also different coaches with the help of Soroti Cricket Academy, and that's why we've managed to defend our trophy.
About 100 players from different schools, including Indeje SS, Kilembe SS, Victoria High School, Nyakasura School, among others, participated in the tournament.
We are very glad as Uganda Cricket to have this tournament. The future looks bright. We hope that these girls can participate in our upcoming tournaments, like in the under-19 category and on the women's national team.
Jimia Muhammad from Olila High School and Janet Nachiranda from Ginger SS were the players that had the most outstanding performance throughout the tournament.
My concentration and focus and then believe in myself has made me to score all those runs.
Grace Joyce Kemgisa, UBC News.
Yes, and that brings us to the end of our weekly roundup edition of the Lunchtime News, the bulletin that brought you those headline stories that made news within the week. Thank you for being a lovely audience. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold. Stay tuned for new updates in our news in our subsequent bulletins. Have yourselves a lovely afternoon.